Okay, so everybody has the packet ready. Okay. So let's take a look at the first one. Okay, vocab, right? So vocab is like the fundamental elements of a reading skill, right? You should know reading. I mean the vocab, right? So what I have here is like the English, right? English vocab, no English vocab, English language, right? It is derived from, okay? It comes from Latin and Greek word, right? So every word, I guess almost every word, could be broken down into prefix, stem. They call it root, right? They call it root or stem or suffix, right? So if you look at the words like introduction, right? Intro is a prefix, duck is a stem, suffix is a shun. Same thing with the synchronize, right? So what I have here is a list of it says a prefix, right? And so like ab, ab, whatever, however it's pronounced, okay? It means like away and from, right? So if you look at this word abolish, right? What is abolish? Like eliminate, 그치요? 근데 you could also say do away with, okay? That could be another meaning for abolish. Do away with, okay? 없애도 된다는 얘기니까. So it kind of makes sense, right? If you look at abnormal, right? It is not normal, so it's away from normal, okay? So maybe that could be not. So whenever you try to memorize vocab, maybe this Latin word or Greek word, should help you, okay? Like the abstract, that could be kind of tricky, right? Abstract, it means a kind of theoretical, it could mean vague, but it could also mean as a verb to remove, right? So you're moving away from, okay? So that, in that sense, it makes sense, right? So there's a lot of words here that you should know, okay? So what you do is that you look at this prefix and you know the meaning and try to correlate, okay? Try to make the connection, okay? So if you know the word, that's good. If you do not know the word, like out here, it kind of like fasten, like 갖다 붙인다는 얘기니까 maybe it's moving towards something, okay? Fixed, 고정시키다 그런 얘기로, okay? So that's what you should do. Same thing with the anti and auto. So these are the list I have, okay? So you should look at this word, all these words, okay? And try to find the meaning, okay? And then try to make the connection, okay? With the prefix, okay? So these are all the words that you should know, okay? And then like here is a stem, bio means life, so biology is a study of life, bio means like a home of life, something like that, okay? So you should try to make every word, try to make sense out of it, okay? How do I connect the stem, the meaning of the stem to the actual meaning? Sometimes it doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work all the time, but it should work at least half, okay? So these are the lists that will try to help you memorize the word, okay? So you should try to do all this vocab list I have here, okay? And here I also have pretty much the same thing, okay? Except here I kind of wrote, well, I didn't write it, but anyway, I copy and paste, but it says G, right? So it's like a Greek word, okay? Astaru, astura, okay? Star, astronomy, study of a star, something like that. So Audi, yeah, maybe the car Audi to here, I don't know, okay? So try to make sense. Some of the lists maybe kind of overlap with the previous list, okay? But you should try to look at every word. And I'm going to give you a quiz on this, okay? Yeah, someday my prince will come, right? You know the song? So, okay. So, you know the Snow White? Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna give you a quiz on this, okay? So you should find every word. I'm not kidding, okay? So try to look at every word, see how that makes sense, okay? Even simple words like a telephone, we know what telephone is, right? telephone, right? It's the title of Lady Gaga. Anyway.
Oh.
See, he doesn't get the joke, right? So tele means far, phone means a sound. So you make sound with someone far away, right? So that's what it is, okay? So all these words are it's there to help you. Now this is like if you want to know the meaning of have, some of them are like a semi, like a hemi, you know? Yeah, so it kind of makes sense, right? One, it could be uni, monarch, mono, like a mono here, okay? So all these words, okay, are here also. It kind of helps you to better remember, better memorize the, okay? So basically, you know, when you memorize a vocab, it's called what we call the mnemonics, right? Mnemonics, right? So I think mnemonics is what we call the association, right? So when you memorize a word, you just do not memorize the word and the definition. That would be kind of stupid, right? So you know the word, and then you try to associate with something else, right? If you know Korean, right, it kind of helps you, right? So remember, like I made a joke about like this, like Pyarishi. Pyarishi, you know what Pyarishi means, right? To die, to, you know, something like that. So like some guys comes on and say Pyarishi, Pyari, 그녀를 Pyari. 자꾸 패면 죽는니까 Pyarishi. Yeah. Okay. Some people even go like none, right? You know what none means, right? So to better remember, say 넌 수녀지, 넌 수녀지. You know, so some guys makes like a big money out of like teaching stuff like this. Okay, yeah, I'm not kidding. The downside is that you remember the joke, but you don't remember the meaning. That's what happens, right? So, but yeah. So anyway, I think you want to memorize the vocab. You should use your creativity. Okay, if you know Korean, somehow try to make sense out of it. Okay, it doesn't really have to make sense as long as it helps you remember the meaning of a vocab. Okay, so vocab is the most fundamental part. Okay, I cannot emphasize enough. Okay, I just want to tell you that in English, right? I said they came from like a Latin and Greek word, right? But it didn't come directly. I think it kind of stopped at like France and Germany. So a lot of English word they borrow from like a Germanic word. Is that right? Yeah, a lot of words in English has to do with the German words. Okay, just like our Korean words has to do with the, like even Chinese and even Japanese, right? So I think that's what happens. Okay. All right. So that's all I have to say about the vocab, about this list. Okay. You should remember this. You should try to study this. It's a one way of remembering. Okay. So it's a one way of a better memorizing the vocab. Okay. If you know the suffix, if you know the prefix, whatever, it could help you. Okay. So you should go over the list. Okay. All right. So let me go to the next page. Okay. Here on next page I have SAT glossaries. Okay. So some of the terms, the words that you should be familiar with. Okay. I mean, we just talked about affix, right? Okay. Anecdote, right? You should know this. Okay. Anecdote is like a short, interesting, personal story. That's what anecdote is, right? Okay. Context clues, figurative language, like a metaphor, right? Something like that. Okay, that's a figurative language. Okay, literary device, like a foreshadowing. Okay, that's a literary device. And then you said there's a literary elements like a setting and plot. Metaphor, I just talked about metaphor, right? After the race, my legs were rubber. Okay, or you could say the steak tastes like a rubber. Okay, all right, maybe you like it to taste like a rubber. Okay, Okay, so these are like a narrative perspective paradox. Okay, I think paradox is almost the same thing as like irony. I don't really see the difference, but you know, paradox. What is a paradox? You study very hard for the exam, but you get a bad score. So next time you don't study, and you get a even worse score. I don't know. It's a joke. Okay, so that's what paradox is. Kind of contradictory to our intuition. Okay. Parallel structure, right? I think parallel structure is like what you see in the grammar, parallelism. Yes, okay. Personification, prefix, rhetorical device. Okay, this something rhetorical device is something definitely we're gonna learn when we do the USAT essay. Something definitely you should know about this. Okay. I mean, I'll talk more about this. Maybe tomorrow, okay, when we learn the how to write an essay, but the words like ethos and pathos and logos. Did you learn this in school? Where did you learn this? Like, yeah, English, right? Okay, so teacher really tell you what those are? Okay, terms like diction, imagery, okay. Like a rhetorical question, right? And juxtaposition, right? Okay, or something like that. Okay, so we're gonna learn this and how to use it. How do I find it? Okay, and how do I kind of put it together so to write an essay? Okay, very critical. Okay, all right. And then root word stem, right? I just talked about that, right? Suffix and symbolism. Symbolism is it symbolizes something, right? Okay, whatever that means. Okay, all right. And then whenever you read a passage, right? Whenever you read a passage, first thing that you want to think about is what's the main idea, right? What's the main idea of a paragraph? Okay, what's the main idea of the whole passage, right? I always try to emphasize. Okay, whenever you read the passage, you want to summarize each paragraph, at least know what the main idea is, right? So here is a little simple exercise I have for you. Okay, it says finding the main idea, but basically what you do is that there's 9 words here, and use the simple past tense of the regular verbs. Okay, to complete the paragraph, you use each verb only once. Okay, so why don't you start the exercise, okay? And then I'm gonna maybe pause or something, okay? Okay, so maybe I'm gonna stop the video here, okay, and get on to the next lesson, okay? So go ahead and do the exercise, okay? Mm-hmm.